Oh, hey everyone, welcome to Table Moments Live. I know, it's late and it's on a Monday. If you weren't here last week, I should have given you guys notice that I was changing the day. I'm experimenting, trying Monday nights instead of Sunday nights, but those of you who watch the replay, you guys are going to see this. For those of you who are new here, this is Table Moments, the homies podcast where we talk about anything and everything, but no politics. Live stream, sometimes we break that rule and I let it all go free and loose like some boxers. I let it all hang. I shouldn't, but whatever. I don't care. Like, as long as we can have conversations where people aren't getting so dogmatic and yelling at each other about stuff that's going on in the world, I think it's a decent enough conversation, I guess. I used to be heavy into politics, and I chose that this podcast would not go in that direction, even though it would be hella easy to grift off of that. You know, like I see what Candace Owens does, and I'm almost like, her takes aren't even good. Like that's the problem. It's like she's on the right side of most issues. It's just she's grifting, and it's kind of weak sauce. Definitely could be done better, and I know I would kill it at that too. But you know, for some reason, I always got to take the harder path, and that's just me. You know, we don't do it because it's easy. We do it because it's hard, or something like that. I think that's what JFK said, and I mess with that kind of energy. Just because it's easier doesn't mean you should necessarily do it. Or at least that's been my attitude. I have all these weird and interesting ways of living life that I don't know if it's the appropriate way, but it's one I'm trying and seeing if I could prove it out. Like, can I make content that doesn't degrade the human spirit? Because it's so easy to do that stuff. I think I have a script prepared where I think I'm gonna have to rewrite it, but basically I explain how the easiest way to grow on social media, build an audience, is to sell sin, sell vices, the human spirit, or at least the things that bring down the human spirit. And I've been reading the Bible a lot lately, and you know, this dichotomy between the flesh and the spirit, and realizing like a lot of the stuff that we consume, all the media that's put in our faces is all to sell stuff to our flesh, our cravings, our biological instinct and desires. And you start realizing like a lot of the content that gets pushed to you focuses on these things. And it's honestly the easier way to start business and make money when you sell sin, when you sell vices. This is why, like, what are you being sold? Usually it's related to one of these three: money, relationships, or health. Health doesn't seem like it would be a bad thing, but really the health content with the fitness influences and all that is selling vanity. They're not selling you to actually be healthier. They're selling how to look better. The relationship stuff is selling you lust, obviously, how to have partners or multiple partners. The money is selling greed and desire. Well, desire isn't a vice, but it's selling envy. That's why they have the supercars. That's why they're flexing on you with the rollies and the nice homes and all that. And so you realize like all the things we're surrounded by is all just to like take us away from the spirit. And I've decided I don't want to go in that direction. And I know it's going to be harder, but I have a feeling that maybe there is a lane here for that kind of stuff. And I think those of you who watch can understand, or at least you can see that projection of that type of energy through this. So I like that we're gathering people like ourselves here. And I'm selective about the kind of content I'll make. Now, yeah, is it fun to make stuff that triggers people? Sure. And I like that, or at least I used to make a lot of that stuff, but it wasn't pointless triggering. It was centered or focused around some truth that people don't want to accept. And you can look at my old videos. Yeah, there's a lot of cursing in there, and yeah, I've changed. But I like that the new focus is like, how can we elevate people? And so I like the teaching. I like the informational stuff. I also like the humor, but also share some honest facts about the world that we live in. And then maybe even criticize some of the things that everyone accepts as being okay. Like my video about money, the $2 bill one, it has 3.5 million views on TikTok, 500,000 on IG, and 30,000 on YouTube. And I explained in this video, if you haven't seen it, is how this paper essentially is given so much value the moment ink is put on it. It's just paper. And this idea of like wealth and money and how it takes away the soul out of a lot of things. I'm not saying like money's a bad thing. It's supposed to be a universal trading system. I get it. It's more efficient than bartering. Although I wouldn't mind bartering. That sounds pretty appealing to me. I like Facebook Marketplace for that reason. But I'm thinking like, what if I can explain these things in very certain terms? What we're so concerned and obsessed by are actually meaningless. And maybe the answer is God. Maybe the answer is God. But I'm not a preacher though, so I'm not trying to go in that direction. But I do like it when knowledgeable people like yourselves come into the chat and can edify me a little bit on this stuff, because I'm still new to all this. But it is interesting. I like the direction of this, and we'll see where it goes. On top of that, like, I'm not opposed to capitalism. I understand, like, people got to eat and we got to trade with each other. But the fact that people lie, cheat, and steal and kill each other over paper, essentially pieces of paper, is the point I was making. Over paper that isn't even backed by anything, by the way. It's not backed by gold or precious resources or oil. It's literally backed by the faith and credit of the US government, for whatever that's worth. And that's how I closed that video. And the point I'm making is, like, when you realize it's just paper, it's not even paper either. Most transactions happen electronically these days. So it's not even real physical stuff. It's literally electrons on some server somewhere, some computer, some hard drive that's recording. It's like a ledger. And that is what we attribute to having value. And when you frame it that way, it starts, you realize how pointless it all is. We got to eat, we got to trade, but to be obsessive about it seems so pointless. At least to me it does. Now I still make money. Like, I sell these wallets here, but yeah. So obviously I got to eat. Because people recognize it as having value. I don't recognize it. Like, to me, it's just money. It's just like, I can't be bought for that reason. And I like that, the freedom that comes with, like, there's no amount of money anyone could pay me to compromise my values or what I believe to be true. I'm not gonna lie. Will I shill for things? I mean, I will promote products that I actually find useful. So I've been corresponding with a couple of people who make stuff. There's this, like, I just reached out to, or they reached out to me, this company that makes this button. Basically, it's a ring that has 3 buttons on it that let you scroll TikTok. I know it's stupid. It's a lazy way of, like, scrolling. Instead of scrolling up and down, it's literally a ring with 3 buttons on it. Up is to scroll up, down is to scroll down, and then the center button is like the heart or whatever. But I saw something else in that. I saw this device, hopefully, they'll be sending me a sample, hopefully can be used to record. Like that button, that Bluetooth control. Because people want to get into social media, but you don't have the equipment, but you have an iPhone. And you can make content with iPhone. And I want to show people how easy it can be, even with a device like this. Instead of, like, clicking that center button on the phone and then recording your stuff, and then stepping back and then editing it all, it's a lot easier to just record it right the first time. And having a Bluetooth remote, essentially, to record it, something that isn't, like, in your hand, but, like, attached to your finger so it hides well, might be a better option. And so that's what I'm hoping I can demonstrate with that product. And it's affordable, $20 you can get on Amazon, but, and I'm going to test it out. See, and it comes with a charging case and everything. So I'm like, all right, so if you ever have an idea, you can just put the ring on and just start recording shots. And then you can plan out your shots, and then you can record the stuff in real time as you need it for the shots that you have planned. So there's very minimal or no editing at all, because you planned it all out, and you can record without actually touching the screen and cutting out. I don't know. It just seems very efficient to me. So there, I find real use in it. Another one is, like, this thing here. I can't show. You guys know what it is if you've seen it before. A company reached out to me. I think one of their competitors, this one, they have an AK version of this. And I like these 3D puzzles. So, I just like building things. So it's just stuff I enjoy. I don't mind sharing that kind of stuff. And I think it's a cool project to do with your kids or whatever. And, it's cool stuff. So those are things, like, I can promote and I can feel good about it because I actually enjoy it. Obviously, I'm going to do it myself to see if I actually enjoy it before I actually, like, make a video about it. But, or even like this, like these wallets I make. I use it. This is my I'm constantly like experimenting. And these, I'm always adding features. This one's not really, it's too big because it overhangs. I have another one back there that uses smaller ones, but the gold fades. So it's just like I'm ordering all this like supply. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and it's okay. It's all experimentation. But the cool thing is, in the meantime, I've been getting sales, so that's cool, and it's actually profitable at this point. Like I've been running Facebook ads. Now you might be thinking, why don't you just use your audience that you've already built? Which I share this stuff with them, but I like the idea that the business can be sustainable on its own, that you can run ads and scale it as you need to. And so, as I need to. And so right now I don't have like the whole manufacturing set up yet. I did make a huge improvement today. Literally cut I reduced the cut time of these patterns by 50%, basically in half, which is cool. So it speeds up the whole manufacturing process. And then I realized if I upgrade the laser that I use to cut these out from a 5-watt laser to a 10-watt laser, I can cut these out in 15 seconds. And so it's just like I'm thinking about the manufacturing process before I scale up. But the cool thing about ads is like you can adjust it based on your spending pattern. And then I start realizing like, yo, this business stuff, if you can figure out the equation of like what it costs to make something, all the fees that are associated with it, and then the customer acquisition costs, so how much it costs to actually get a customer, and then you can figure out creative and marketing well, and you can find interesting use cases for the things that you've made, you can actually build viable businesses that are really weird, like a front pocket or minimalist or forgot in your pocket wallet like I'm selling. And it'd be cool to show people like, you can be your own business that way and doing the thing that you enjoy doing, which is like possibly creating. I think that'd be really cool, and documenting it all. And then if it makes some money, then and becomes a sustainable thing, then maybe it can fund cooler and cooler projects and ideas, and obviously my livelihood, which would be cool. But yeah, it's just a lot of experimentation is what I'm noticing. And yes, it is the harder path because there's a lot of uncertainty with it. There's a lot of trial and error, and the error is a big part of that, making mistakes and figuring it out. Like even today, like I spent the last few days trying to get a business service account for USPS. Essentially, what I want to do is improve the packaging and the tracking of these wallets when I send them in the mail. What I've been putting them in standard envelopes, but I've come up with a new and interesting way. Firstly, I changed the color of the wallet or the envelope. The ones I was formerly using were these. Let's see, do I have one here? Yeah, these black wallets with or these black. They're nice. They're nice. Not gonna lie. It's a nice. And it has gold trim and everything. It feels very premium, but these cost $22 a piece, and I can't print on these, which is the big limitation. So I end up having to put like white stickers on there for the address labels and stuff, which is very limiting because then I have to print the labels and put the labels on and all that. And so I was thinking a compromise. I go with these manila colored, and even better is that they're vertical. They're vertical, so they have this flap, and then even better, they actually have this glue thing, this strip that you pull off, and then you can fold in, and it'll seal. Which of those I had to lick, so I'm thinking about improvements. Also, these are 7 cents a piece, which is very cool. It's the same size as those, but better yet, I can print on it. And so I was thinking, like, what kind of things could I print on this? It's like I could print the address, obviously, and maybe it could look like something like this. Could look like this. Cool. Put a little logo on the bottom. Yeah, all right, cool. And I was like, kind of boring. Let me try something else. And so, let's see, do I have an example here? And I was like, ooh, what if we can put something way more interesting, like maybe artwork or something, and came up with this. Yo, this is cool. It's like, imagine getting this in the mail. Just like, obviously I can't do all that. The address would show up here, and the return address would be here. So maybe I have to shift all this down to this corner. And then I also want to be able to print the USPS barcode system. They have a barcode thing that they use. So I can add actually tracking information to the orders. It's not the standard way of tracking information that USPS offers. It's the business level tracking information. So it's not as detailed, but it's enough that I think it would satisfy the notification part. And so that's what I've been applying for. I just got approved for that. Um, and it's cool. We'll see how that goes. And then I can print those on directly. And so that's even better. Simplifies the process. I can print this out and then put cool artwork. So it'd be cool, like every week, maybe a theme that I can print, like cool images, or maybe like inspirational stuff, or like this one's flow like water, Bruce Lee, but maybe Muhammad Ali and it's just like sting like a bee or something in the bottom corner. Or like this one I made for my brother. I haven't sent it to him yet, but this one's cool. This is, let's see if you guys can see it. That's a picture of Lewis Hamilton, race car driver. I made a wallet for my brother. That's Ferrari edition. He's moving to Ferrari next year, and so I made him a Ferrari wallet, and then obviously a table owners project. I simplified the packaging too. It used to be 2 cards, 2 folds, and now it's like 1 card, which is better because the USPS sorting machine handles most of letter mail. And the problem is, like, if it can't make it through, there's a lot of like contortion. The letters go through as they pass through the machines. And if it can't pass through the machines well, they get funneled to manual sorting where a human has to touch it. And that dramatically increases the time it takes to arrive to someone, which is why if you've ordered one, it's taken like 2 weeks to arrive. And I'm pretty sure that's the reason why. So hopefully that improvement can mean the wallets can come faster. And then now that I have this business service account with USPS, I've been looking into building a Shopify app that will automatically create the barcodes in Shopify. And then I could just hit print and then it'll automatically print the envelope. Maybe I could put a template and then offer that as a side service software package, maybe like $10 a month for other businesses out here who sell like things that are sent in the mail like that. There's plenty of people who sell stickers or like little like medicinal, like tongue things, whatever, or maybe edibles. I don't know what these CBD edibles with like tongue strips or whatever. They send it through the mail. And the cool thing about that is dramatically reduces the cost of shipping. Normally it's about $4 with tracking information, but using a USPS, if you're under 1 ounce, you can use a USPS forever stamp, which costs 68 cents now. They just increased it by 2 cents. But, you know, looking for those efficiencies is what I've been doing. But that's the wallet update. I forgot to start with music. I had some music planned. Let's play some music while I get the TikTok stream set up. This one's called TBT, Throwback Thursday. This instrumental I put together based on a loop that someone supplied, a beat maker supplied, and then I added all these elements, these accoutrements on top of it that I think elevate the thing. You'll hear a bunch of horns, you'll hear the percussions, and obviously the melody is the strongest piece of this, but I think the small little details that I add take it to another level. But check it out. This one's called Throwback Thursday. That's Throwback Thursday. That's a good one. I was listening to a lot of my music today on my walk, and it's like, yo, this stuff is really good. I can imagine like making. I've made videos where I've used my own music, but man, I should use more of it. Honestly, I don't know my music. It's more like God's music. How was it? I don't know how it comes and where it comes from. It's just like inspiration from the divine. Like even, man, when I've made music, I haven't. It's been a while, but maybe I gotta get back into it. But like, I don't know where it comes from. I have no idea. Like I listen to it, I'm in it, and I'm like, yo, this is fire. And then like I'll listen to it like months later and just be like, how the hell did I make this? How? I like the energy. Yeah, maybe if you're more of a music producer or whatever, you can definitely see some improvements I can make to like the mix or whatever. But to me, it's just like as long as I enjoy it, I'm good. And if I can use it in a video, that's even better eventually. But all right, let's get the TikTok people on. And yeah, I will be rubbing my nose a lot because for whatever reason, these bright lights, man, they make my nose run. All right, let's go live on TikTok. Let's do this. I think it's better without the IG people. I didn't add the IG stream to this one. I think it's better without them. But what do you guys think? Leave it in the comments. I don't know. I keep telling myself that maybe I should stream on every platform. Man, should I? An hour a day on every platform? Maybe that might be cool. Hey everyone, welcome to Table Moments Live. I'm your host and captain, Ayman. This is the podcast where we talk about anything and everything. No politics. I'm not like the streamers everywhere else on TikTok. Like, it's so annoying, the divisiveness that we're surrounded by. Here, we can disagree, and it's okay. Nice to, yeah, hi, cat. I don't know, like, I'm not impressed by the weak sauce of live streamers on TikTok. It is real weak sauce, because, like, you have people who do the dating show, so they're just using the public as free content, and then putting them on the spot in front of thousands of people. I don't know, it's kind of messed up. I used to do content on the street, asking people questions and stuff, but I've since moved away from that because, you know, it's you're putting people out there, and you got to be careful with that because you can make someone look bad, which is the reason why I always hated Borat as a movie, because it was just not. I don't know. What's good, Lil Buster? What's good, Jose? What's good, man? It's been a while, hasn't it? What are you? Yeah, I know it's Monday. I've been experimenting with Mondays starting last week, streaming on Mondays. For those of you who don't know, this is a podcast where we talk about anything and everything. If you look at the feed, it's a bunch of stuff about a bunch of different things, and I like it like that. And yeah, maybe it's not the right way to grow, and you got to find your niche and all that. It's like, nah. We do what we want here, okay? We invite interesting people. I literally just invited a guy from TikTok. I saw he made a video about entrepreneurship, and he gave it straight. He explained exactly what entrepreneurship is really like, not in that flowery, oh, everything's great type of way, in that sort of real, you kind of got to be arrogant and understand you're going to be failing a lot, and it's going to be a grind, it's going to be a hustle, it's your entire life. And it's not for most people, and he was just giving it real. So I hit the guy up, and I checked a bunch of his content. It was a bunch of cool stuff on creativity. So he's getting into accounting with his dad, and he's going to be like basically a financial advisor for creative people or people in the creative space. And he's a creative himself, an artist who's literally made a living doing that too. And so I was like, yo, this is exactly the kind of energy I mess with heavy. So I invited him on the podcast, and I'm going to edit that episode, and it'll be published maybe like a week from now. But cool guy. What's his user account? I don't remember. But do you think you better than others? No, I don't. Not really. Hi. Hey, Nicholas. How's it going? But not that bright, just use a lot of words. I'm not sure what you mean, Rita. I can't tell if you're hating or not. If you are hating, could you be a little more clear, please? It's like, I don't know. Like the one thing, I don't mind haters. I just mind lazy hating, okay? If you're going to hate. And stand 10 toes down. You met me? No, you didn't. I remember everyone I met. I've met Owling. I've met, what's his name? I've met 3 people so far, and I know you're not one of them. Eventually, it'd be cool to do a meetup, not gonna lie. It'd be really cool. Whoa, don't hate on him. He's nice. I don't mind the hate. I think that the hate like keeps you on your toes a little bit. I just posted a video about how people who turn off stitches from their videos, they don't belong on social media. Because it's like, how are you going to gatekeep your own content? You're not going to let people get some of that clout or like give a controversial or differing take from the things you're spouting in your videos. And then someone else left a comment on that video that I made explaining it's even worse when they turn off comments. It's just like, bro, what are you doing? If you can't handle a little bit of hate on social media, this ain't it for you. At Safeway, I don't shop at Safeway, but I remember going to Safeway for the free cookies for sure. As a teenager, me and my homies, we would go like late night because they were like 24 hours or something. And we would go to the bakery aisle. You know, they have like a bunch of cookies on display, free samples. I don't know if they still do it, but man, those were good times. Those were good times when you don't have much and you guys are just kids and you guys are just spending time in the streets, walking around, and just talking about whatever, hanging out with each other. Simple times, man. Simple times. Now I'm an adult, unfortunately. Uriah Oplinger, want me to follow? Up to you, man. Look at the content. If you don't really mess with it, don't follow. Don't. You're not gonna like it if you don't like the content. Bro, you are awesome. Bro, you are awesome. You're awesome too, Nicholas. You're cool too. Do you wear Urban Outfitters? No, my girl was into it for a while. I remember her being really excited about Urban Outfitters when we dated back in the day. I'm in Red Hook. I don't know what that means, Rita. I have no clue. They're overturning Roe v. Wade and you're on live? What do you mean overturning Roe v. Wade? It already has been overturned. What are you talking about? Like, and I don't think people understand. Is it a new Supreme Court decision? I mean, they already made it. Wasn't it last year? So, nah, man, I wish I was awesome. I don't know. See, here's the thing. I'm working on a script right now talking about how everyone in Hollywood is a fraud. Right now, I guess Jay Shetty is like some dude embraced by the Hollywood elite, podcasting, and I'm just like, fraud. What's his name? The comedian who like made up stories about some social issues he had to deal with growing up. Hassan Minaj, right? Made up. And then I'm making the point like, you know, these celebrities, Hollywood by nature corrupts people. It's a corrupting industry. So even if you don't start off that way, you will become that way. It thrives on clout. It thrives on you using people and spitting them out. But for whatever reason, as a society, the only people who are allowed to be larger than life are celebrities. I don't mess with that energy at all. I think everyone can be interesting. You just have to go stand on business. You are who you are and you're about what you're about and you're uncompromising on that fact. And so, yes, I think you can be awesome too. I think all the things I work on is awesome. I really enjoy it. And I like that there are people out here who really mess with it too. But there are plenty of people who don't, and I'm okay with that. And I think you can be larger than life too. Even if it might seem that I am, I'm just a dude, man. I'm just a dude. And I don't want to grow in that way, the way Hollywood does. Do you know anything about stocks? Value investing? Is that what you're talking about? Like, I'm not going to give you stock picks. Like, I'm literally reading a book about high frequency trading right now and how like most of the trades on the market are like made by these machines and computers. Realize that's what you're up against, man. You're up against like skyscrapers full of buildings, full of people who work as traders for these big banks and hedge funds who make mid to high six figures to spend 12 to 14 hours a day trading this stuff. That's what you're competing against. And you think you're going to be able to do that part-time on the side? Good luck, man. Good luck. If you're going to do stock and trading, look at Martin Shkreli's videos, his videos on YouTube. He explains how to analyze stock in a methodical and rational way and not letting your feelings get in the way. Because a lot of people, when they trade, they want to get into investment, day trading. It's like the thing you have to control is your emotions. Because and all the biases that you have about like sunk cost fallacy and all that. So check out his YouTube videos and then he shows you how to actually analyze stocks on the market. And then he also explores, maybe you don't trade stocks, maybe you trade bonds. There are other financial instruments that you could trade, and how to look at them. And this is his entire philosophy is based around, what's his name? Benjamin Graham. His value investing, finding deep value out there and being able to identify it and then being able to make trades on it. So check that stuff out. Forehead Snatcher. Was she into free people? Thoughts on working in corporate retail? I don't have any opposition with corporate retail. I mean, it is what it is. It's a job. Dumb question. Do you like investing? I like investing in myself. So I don't know. My bias is towards like self-improvement. Not even self-improvement, more like, yeah, you're just becoming, learning. That's what I'm into. So like, yeah, I have retirement accounts, whatever, but I'm not looking at the market at all. I'm looking at the market of me. Like how much better how much am I growing? Not even that. I'm not even concerned about that. How much better in retrospect. So this is the weird thing. It's like looking back at yourself and how much you've changed over the last like 6 months to a year. I noticed a huge difference in just the last year. Not only with the success, the moderate success I've had on social media, but just in the things I can do personally and even be able to talk to you guys despite being a severe introvert, by the way. I know it doesn't seem like it, but I am. And so like I like investing in myself and I wish more people could. And man, it would be cool to be part of a movement that let people do that. Maybe you don't necessarily go to a traditional school, but you go to the school of you. So I take up space. I'm not sure what you mean. What would you do when he said yes, would you go? I don't know what you just said, and a bunch of hearts. He kissed me, 4X. All right. What's good? Black V sauce. Thank you. A lot of people, are you the same person who's always called me that, or are you a different person? I think this is just a recurring thing now. People just call me Black V sauce because I explain things maybe in some of these videos. I'll wear it. I'll take that. Well, I invested into Iraq Dina and it's hitting it big. I'm about to obtain like $1 million from it. Oh, good for you, I guess. Yeah, cool. Rita, can I please? Ashley says hi. Hello, Ashley. How's it going? How's everyone doing? What do you guys? I have a few topics prepared. I'm also simultaneously streaming on YouTube and Twitch, as I normally do. But I posted some videos this week fixing cars and how knowing a little bit about automobiles can save you a lot of money at the auto mechanic. Starting a business, and it's okay to suck when you first start because anytime you start something new, you're gonna suck. I talk about DIY branding. So when if you want to start a brand, clothing, apparel, something like that, maybe experiment with learning how to make it yourself so you can test it in the market without a huge capital investment. Obviously, I could talk about that money printing video, which I'm sure some of you came from, about the $2 bills. And then wallet updates. I sell these wallets and I've been experimenting with Facebook ads, so I like to share my learnings. I usually share them on Instagram stories, so I'm giving the game for free, or at least in real time, and actually profitable, so it's really cool. Let's see, Ashley, you have a big personality, fried chicken eater, okay. Definitely look into it, man. I don't care to trade currency, man. The bots in lives now, I guess, yeah. Locked character, a person, right? Hellcat driver, low credit score person. I'm not sure what that means. Is that supposed to be racist? Is that what you're trying to do? Awesome, dude, you're so inspiring. I don't know. Like, I don't know, I put it out there. Here's the funny thing, like, most people think I'm crazy. It's okay. I mean, it's just like, watch. Not that I care to prove anybody wrong. It's just like I'm doing me, and I'm doing it my way, and there is no blueprint for you. See, that's the thing I'm starting to realize. Like, when you're really like about you and what's motivating you, and maybe you're led by a spirit or some higher entity or something like that. It's just like, man, and you decide to pursue that path and have conviction. Like, people are not going to understand what you're doing. That's why I appreciate guys like you who are like supportive, because I like to think you guys are like trendsetters. You have taste. You see something that other people don't see. at least before the clout comes. You know, there are people, I remember everyone who messed with me before I built a following on TikTok, before the following on Instagram. And now I'm trying to grow the YouTube. I mean, it's at like 500 something subscribers, I think. Wait, let me check. It's hella small, but like it's been growing. So that's all I care about. That's all that matters. Like it's just a little bit better than before. So it's 527, increase of 62 followers or subscribers in the last 28 days. Not that the subscriber count matters at all. It's just a sign that I'm headed in some direction, which is cool. I mean, progress is always useful. But then in the beginning, I remember streaming to nobody. Like even now, 7, I'm happy with 7. I like that it's a small audience, a small crowd. Oz, I'm not a bot, lol, just a fake profile pic. Come on, man. Like, you can't be a dude showing cleavage as your profile pic, bruh. You can't do that. Come on, man. Come on. It's okay. Flag in bio, please. No. Why? Why do you want me to pick teams? Why do you want me to pick teams? It's, you know what? If I do put a flag in my bio, it's going to be the American flag, because America. F yeah. That's what we do over here. I love this country. I love the people. I love the spirit, the American spirit. I don't love the government. That's the difference. I think the country is not its government. It's its people. And generally, Americans are very kind. And I think they have a bit of grit about them. The American spirit is like, it's different from the rest of the world. Where, yeah, there's a lot of things we can say about negative things about the country for sure. I think a lot of it you could attribute to our government. And yeah, you're not going to catch me in these streets promoting Nancy Pelosi or Biden out here. But like, shout out to Yay 2024. What do you mean? What do you mean, team? It's your country. My country is America. I was born here, Arira. I think I'm just going to keep calling you Owling, because you change your name so much. Or this is a different account, isn't it? Yeah, this one's a different account. This is the propaganda account, huh? This is where you fight with Ethiopians, huh? Nicholas Dixon, that's right, America, yes. Cop some waves in that beard. I wouldn't even know how to do it, bro. I don't. Would I put like a do-rag on my face? You know, maybe that's not a bad idea for a product. A do-rag for your face, and just like, it's not a bad idea. It sounds crazy and it sounds like you're joking, but it's not a bad idea. You could definitely sell people on that. This is not your country. It is my country. I was born here. I speak English. I barely speak Tigrinya. I kind of understand it a little bit, which is funny because you grew up in Ethiopia. You grew up in Ethiopia. Why are you fighting with your own people? That's your country. That's where you grew up. Come on. Is Ashley a real person? Like, bruh, probably a real person, but probably a dude, as typical. Close your cheeks when you go to sleep. Okay, booty reaper. That's funny. You're really leaning into your username, huh? Use a satin mask or something. I don't know. I guess, but like, I have like 4C hair, bruh. If you don't know, that's like a grading system. It goes from A, B, C, and then numbers. So like 1A hair is like the thinnest and straightest, and then 4C is like the coarsest. And I think that's what I have here, 4C hair. Eritrea is your home. I was kicked out. Yeah, you're right. Let me oil you down, big bro. Bro looks Sri Lankan. Sri Lankan. Yeah, nah. Startup, bro. Nice. I think you've been here before, and you got the Pepe. I see that, bro. Shout out. Founder, CEO, turned meme lord, satire content. Yeah, all right, bro. Bro looks Tamil. That's funny. Why are these people being racist? I don't think they're being racist. I don't think calling me Sri Lankan is racist. I'm explaining hair now. Hey, I explain a lot of things, bro. That's what I do. I like the energy. Keep it up, big bro. I like your energy too. Just stop reaping people out here. Yeah, I don't know how you got away with that name, bro. 445. Is that your area code, bro? America is okay, but Eritrea, come on, dude. Eritrea is like the North Korea of Africa, though. That's the problem. Like people flee in these boats overloaded with people that they capsize and everybody drowns. That's a problem. That's a problem. I'm just going to talk to your family. Yeah, you can. But here's the thing, like my family is pretty anti-ISIS, Daddy Isyas. For those of you who don't know, that's the dictator, or I mean, president of Eritrea, a small little country right next to Ethiopia. And right now they're beefing with Ethiopia because of Ethiopia is a landlocked country, meaning they don't have access to the ocean. So they have to go through like their neighboring countries for port access. And now there's a lot of beef over it. Because, you know, it wouldn't be Africa if there weren't a bunch of beef. Yo, man. I see. I know I can't go to Africa ever because I would just be like, because I talk so much crap online. You said, all right, after reading my bio? Yeah, I know what Pepe is. I remember the Donald. Were you a part of it? Were you the one making the memes for that subreddit? I could, yeah, it seems like you're a type of energy. Yeah, I remember you from the Drake video. You were the vacuum host. That's funny. Um, but I'm pretty sure he only likes white girls. What Unc do for work? This, I guess. I make content and I sell products that I design. So this is a thin minimalist wallet I make and I sell these. And now I'm working on software. I work on a lot of different, you know, it's kind of cool. Like I was talking to my girl the other day, just like I get to work on whatever I want and figure out how to sell it. And that's how I make money. Um, so it's pretty cool. Like, oh man, I hope one day I can offer you guys the same type of freedom or at least teach you guys or at least inspire you to go make your own thing. It's more work for sure than a corporate 9 to 5. I remember when I was working I was that corporate guy too. Okay. Like clocking in, waking up at 7 a.m., going into work, sitting in the office, BSing for like the first couple hours because nobody wants to start work when you first get there. So you're just answering emails, whatever. I did all that, bro. And I like now that, yes, I do have a lot more work because I'm supporting myself. I have to learn a bunch of stuff. So taught myself how to code. I'm learning how to build a Shopify app right now to increase the efficiency of my sales. Not increase, add tracking information to the way I sell this stuff. I make content, so yeah, a creativity beta. I make money from that. This week was a big week. And it's not a lot of money, but it's a starting point. And now I know I can probably scale this up. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Eventually it's going to be much bigger and I'm probably going to give a lot of the money away anyways, but it's nice. Good question though. Hey man, I'm going to get some sleep. Just remember me when you get big. Dude, yeah, if you keep showing up on the lives, I like remembering people who are here early. So like even Arira, I actually met her in person. Or met him. I'm sorry, I just gendered you out here. But like, yeah, I remember there's someone who's been here early and I always appreciate the early ones. I remember them. So Nicholas Dixon, I'll remember. So yeah, good night, bro. EDP 445, and it was going to be, yeah, I know. Yeah, you gotta be careful with that. They would get you banned. That's fine. Anti-government doesn't mean anti-country. Fair enough. I don't know. I have this opinion about Habesha people. How like, I even there was one guy on Instagram. I guess he's my cousin, or at least he claimed to be. He's like, oh man, oh man, my cousin out here doing it big, because you know now I got the following on Instagram. I'm just like, you know, it's like clout chasing energy. I'm not a fan of. You know, I like the people who were there early, like you. You were there. I got a chance to meet you before the blow up. And those are the people I really mess with. So you will always be forever remembered as part of this journey. Irira, you're special. Go to Haiti. It's beautiful. Trust. I'll definitely add it to the list for sure. Drake loves black women, says Jordy. No, he doesn't. Come on. His baby mama's white. What are you talking about? Drake loves... Bro. He had a kid with a white woman. That should tell you his value system right there. Of course, he's going to be publicly about like, I'm about that ebony, that dark skin. Nah. It's brother look Amhara. Yeah, kind of. Anal beats. Okay. Hey, yo. Custom ones with Uncle's face on the bead. Ah, come on, man. My girlfriend just had 5 newborn babies, and it's my first time being a father. That's a lot of newborn babies. Does she have them, or are they adopted? I go live on this account. You thought I was beefing in the comments? Oh, no, you don't. Come on. Do you really? You just like clapping back at people on stream? That's crazy. My girlfriend had 5 newborn babies. Yeah. I'm happy you stayed on the hustle. Yeah, I mean, like, I enjoy connecting with people and being able to share my thoughts with the world and find people who at least maybe you don't necessarily have to understand, but you mess with that type of energy. And it'd be cool to gather all these people so that we can collaborate with each other. I literally just had an interview with some guy that I saw on TikTok, and I just DM'd him through Instagram, and he came on the show, and I just got to edit that episode, but he's like, good energy. So, no, she got to go in labor. Okay, long time no see. Rara, creative outlet and video journaling. Hey, okay. Uh, no, she is going to be in labor. Have things improved in corporate with you since we last spoke? Corporate. I'm not. I'm not in corporate. I haven't been in corporate in like coming up 3 years now, which is pretty cool. Like, I'm not going back. I'm not. Corporate. No. No, my girlfriend's about to go in labor. Okay. Hopefully everything goes well, if you're being honest. Yeah. But no, I like that I am independent. Now, it's just a starting point at this point, but it's proven enough and hit a milestone this month, which is pretty cool. It's a couple of months later than my target, but it's just a starting point. At this point, it's just like, man, yeah, I can see this. I still got to put in the work. I got to stay motivated. I got to just let my motivation and my spirit guide me in all this, and we'll see what happens. And you guys get to be a part of it, and I share all the game. Specifically, I've been using IG stories to share everything I know, everything. And I'm just giving it in real time. So it's pretty cool. Like this business stuff, selling these wallets and stuff. Like I've been sharing like my ad strategy on Facebook Marketplace or on Facebook using meta ads and how I'm selling and testing and creatives and what I'm learning, getting the ROAS right and just experimenting, and then the manufacturing process for these things, constantly making improvements. It's been really cool. It's been really cool that I can actually like engineer in real time and share it with you guys. And hopefully this could be useful for you guys too. Or like there's a kid, it'd be cool. He has that hustle energy, and it'd be cool. He's thinking about becoming an affiliate for these things. And I'll be like, yeah, bro, if you can push these to the TikTok audience or Instagram audience or whatever and get some sales, I'll give you commission, bro. Like, and a healthy one too, because I make these myself. So it's pretty cool. If I remember correctly, you were a chemical engineer, mechanical. But yeah, you remember the engineer part. I appreciate that. Yes, I'm being honest, and we're about to get married and get a mansion apartments. Okay, good for you, bro. Anthony Newsom, no bio. Appreciate the hearts. Cool. Heart puff. Appreciate it. But yeah, it is interesting. Learning all this stuff and then just sharing it with the world. And then here's the thing, anytime you start something new, it's a lot of figuring things out. And so I posted a video here just explaining, like, when you start a business, you're going to suck at it. That's just part of the game. Like, you're going to suck at anything you just start. So for me, like, my first month of selling these wallets on Facebook, I think I was losing money, actually. Not a lot of money, but I was losing money. Essentially because my ads weren't converting well. Essentially, what it cost to get a customer was the cost of what I was selling these for. So essentially, I lost money on every sale. But it taught me Facebook ads. And then the last couple of weeks, I've actually gotten a decent return on those. Not as high as I'd like, but definitely profitable, which is just you're just looking for small improvements. That's all you got to do, and over time they will stack, and then you'll make improvements. Like literally this morning, I figured out a way to produce these in half the time by changing the settings on my laser cutter that I use to cut these patterns out. And then if I upgrade the laser module, I can cut it in in a quarter of the time that it normally takes. And then if I put a conveyor system in there and I align the patterns, then I can actually like automate all this, or at least get close to automation. So it's pretty cool. And just been experimenting with like metal corners and stuff. So that's cool. So yeah, that's what I do. Washam blood, bring me up. I want to freestyle. You want to freestyle? What do you want to freestyle about, bro? Like, oh, you mean you want to have a conversation like we did last time? You got anything on your mind? Are you going to talk about Trump stuff again? Man, I need intervention and some advice. My relationships are reinforcing misogyny, and I hate it. What does that mean, reinforcing misogyny? I don't know if we can help you with advice, but we can try. We can give you the male perspective. I'm assuming, yeah, we can give you the male perspective. No, I was going to rap. Oh, please no. I know you're probably going to rap in Hispanic, in Spanish, because everything's easier when every word ends in an A or a O. Where are you from? Originally from California. I live in Texas, baby. I live in Texas. If you're in the Austin area, hit me up. Where are you from? Yeah, so Rara, could you explain what you mean reinforcing misogyny? Because I got a little bit of that type of energy in me, but you like this, so I don't know. You're from Atlanta? Oh, okay. Shout out to ATL. Recently, I finished watching the Mr. and Mrs. Smith series on Amazon, and obviously that's Donald Glover, and I think the director of that show is the same one as the series Atlanta, and I can understand why people are like sort of the expectations for that show, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, was that it was going to be like the movie, but it's not. It's not at all. It's just it shares a name. And yeah, they're spies, but it's a whole different thing. It's more like Black Mirror mixed with Atlanta, mixed with a spy, like Born Identity type thing. It's a weird mix. It's a good mix. It's an interesting show, actually. I do recommend it, but it's not like the movie at all. They shouldn't have called it Mr. and Mrs. Smith. They should have just called it The Smiths, and it would have been fine. But of course, Hollywood always got so, the marketing was just terrible. Let it out. It's going to be hard to write it all out with limited characters. I don't know, summarize it in a sentence or two or multiple comments. That sounds cool. I need to check it out. Yeah, it's cool. Like the acting is actually pretty good. Like, yeah, I don't know. I remember when it first came out, I would wager a lot of the content creators who were talking about it when it first came out were probably commissioned. I don't trust any of these creators out here anymore. All of them is just like they're all talking about the same thing at the same time. Sure, they could be following a trend, but in reality, they were probably commissioned by the show or a promotional company to promote the thing at the same time. You see this happen in like any industry, and it's just like we're surrounded by frauds, guys, essentially. So, but it was a decent show. It was a decent show if you're looking for something to watch. And I think it's one of those shows that a guy with his girl. So if you're in a relationship, it's a show you both would enjoy. She would enjoy the romance and the aspect of that. You wouldn't, as a dude, would enjoy the comedy and the dry humor in a lot of it. So I like entertainment like that where a couple, men and women, or who are in a relationship can watch it together instead of, like a lot of guys, we out here sacrificing our time to watch things you want to watch, ladies. It's like, no, we can find things we both enjoy. Okay. And so that's where I live. That's where I live. Now, yeah, I'll watch a show because my girl wants to. Yeah, it's cool. She'll fall asleep anyways if it's a movie or something. But yeah, those harmony shows where you can both enjoy. And then it also, yeah, it's a good one. I'm in the wrong room with the wrong people and the wrong friends, wrong city. Long story short, I'm really disappointed. I showed up for my friends that ended up engaging in misogynistic behaviors. That sucks. That sucks. Wrong room with the wrong people and wrong friends. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one because I don't know. My position has always been like I'd rather be alone than be with the wrong people. And I know a lot of people just don't have that type of like temperament to be alone. But and being alone sucks. It does suck, even for me at times. But I think for your spirit, it is better to not have the wrong people around you. Wrong city, that's even harder because then you have to move if you feel like it is the wrong city, especially if it's like a sinful city or there's like a lot of potential for corruption of you and your spirit. Yeah, I definitely see that being a harder thing to make happen, but maybe worth it. I like the idea of being able to leave a place, which is why I like Wi-Fi money, or at least a way to earn money on the internet. Eventually getting to that point might be the most useful thing to liberate people. And I would be awesome to be a part of bringing that to people's lives, a way for them to earn without necessarily having to be somewhere, a specific place. And that gives you the freedom to find your community, to find the place that makes sense for you. I'm not sure how you would fix it other than Alex Hormozy talks about this. Like the easiest way to change behavior is just to change your environment, because it turns out our environment does shape us. And if you're around the wrong people, yes, their energy will infect you. Unfortunately, it's true, and I think you're experiencing it right now. You showed up for friends that ended up engaging in misogynistic behaviors. What were the behaviors that they were engaging in? Not that I'm questioning you on it. It's just, I mean, yeah. And what do you mean showed up for friends? Like, yeah, if you have friends who you can't count on, then they were never friends in the first place. And this is why I think people use the term friends, I think, way too loosely. At least most people's definition of friends is not the type of thing that I would use for my definition of friends. My friends, or at least the people I would like call real friends, are people who you can rely on when things are bad, when you really need help. And if those are not the type of people they are, then I don't care to have them around, which means you're going to be alone a lot of the time or have a very, very small group of friends. I think this is what people understand as they get older. They realize like your friends weren't really your friends. And I think that just comes with like as you age. Jordy on YouTube says the original Mr. and Mrs. Smith was a 90s CBS show. Oh, okay. So even before the movie? I wonder if it's like that. I haven't seen the 90s CBS show, so maybe I'll check that out. And if you guys have any show, I've been watching movies instead of shows lately, old movies instead of shows because I just can't stand the the stuff that we have access to now. It's just like weak sauce. Let's see, oil up twin. I did. I put lotion on my head. Being alone is fine. It's about not wasting time. Parents are getting old, and that gives me anxiety. Yeah. That and finding a community as a third culture kid. Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. Parents. That's a tough one. Teed up 20. Nice to see you here again. Um, yeah. Not wasting time. Yeah. The thing I've noticed about people is that people will waste your time if you let them. And so I think that's where just like filtering people out, which is a tough thing to do, especially if you've known them for a really long time. It's very hard to do because there's so much history there. And then, but I don't know. I think as you move in a certain direction, they'll even naturally fall off. So you won't even have to do it. They'll just stop contacting you. They'll stop reaching out. When you transform into a different person, a better person, your old life, it fades away is what I've noticed for myself. And maybe that will happen. And yeah, that comes with a lot of like, you might not even notice it happening. It'll just happen. And you'll be like, yo, what happened to, and it's just like, oh, they're not in your life anymore. So it's, yeah, getting old is weird. Can I ask how we feel the election is going to go this year? Yeah, I mean, you can ask. I haven't been like hip to it. I'm not paying attention to it. I remember 2016. I was really into it. And yeah, it was interesting. Why do you wear glasses? Because I'm nearsighted. It helps me read comments and stuff. But yeah. Plus, it makes my eyes look bigger. If you guys notice that, so not it's not about the eyes looking bigger. It's I just wear glasses now. I've been wearing glasses since I was 16. But as far as the election, I mean, it'd be cool if Trump won, but I mean, I don't know if people have felt the pain yet. You know, a lot of people have been laid off. That's probably largely driven by interest rates and valuations of companies precipitously dropping, probably motivated by a lot of money printing. Yeah, it is what it is. People asked for this, so why I don't know why people are surprised. You know, LeBron, I've heard that one before. No, I wear glasses and I'm not as tall as him. I'm not. So, yeah, it's cool. But yeah, I wouldn't be worried about the election. Um, I know it's easy to get drawn into it, and that's honestly the point. Uh, and so you're going to see a lot of stuff this year. You're going to see a lot. It has, if you think things are bad now, it's going to get worse. At least in terms of the social media stuff, the content, the dramatic nature of it all, everyone freaking out. Expect that, okay? And a lot of fake news, more fake news than you've ever seen because it's an election year. And you will see how bad and fake our news really is. If you really look into it, I literally was talking to my girl today, and she was explaining like this article that I think her aunt shared with her about like the juju. I don't know what to call it. You know, the smoke stuff, and how it's like, oh man, it's bad for your heart. It's bad for your heart. And then obviously my girl, she knows data, okay, and she knows scientific papers, and she starts reading the article and then goes into it and trying to explain to her aunt how the headline does not match what was written in the article itself, which is always true, by the way, because they write the headline. The headline's usually written by the editor, not by the writer. And so they're trying to write a headline that's kind of related. It doesn't even have to be related. Honestly, it's a lot of sensationalism, something that gets a click, because that's how they make their money, on the revenue, through eyeballs and, you know, that stuff. So they, obviously the headline didn't match the article, and she's explaining it, and, you know, family's not listening because they believe the news. It's fake, but whatever. It is what it is. And so I can see, you know what's weird? My girl's actually, she doesn't even know it, and I know she's watching right now, but she's kind of becoming red pill slowly, and I see it. I haven't actually told her that, but yeah, I can see her transforming. She's becoming more radical than me. Slowly, eventually she will be, and I can already see it. It's cool to watch. Hotep, you might say. She might not identify as that, but she definitely has that energy for sure. Or it's coming. There he is, Fire. Hey, Creed, what's up? What were you doing the day you realized you were going in lockdown? You mean the COVID stuff? Weirdly enough, I was following the right people on Twitter, so I actually had everything prepared. They're like, you know what? Go to the store, buy canned goods, buy toilet paper. I don't know if they said toilet paper, but buy all the things you'll need for lockdown just in case it happens, because it's underreported what was going on internationally. And if you remember back in January when they were about to impeach Trump, or they were focused on impeaching Trump, and they were talking about how, you know, Chinatown, everything's great, blah, blah, blah. They were ignoring the thing. Our politicians were ignoring the thing. But there were certain people who had contacts overseas and realized what a big deal it was. So I happened to be following these people on Twitter. I was just like, you know what? Can't hurt. Can't hurt to buy a bunch of rice and bagged or canned goods and everything I need for lockdown in the event it happens. Turns out then it happened, and I was prepared, and everyone else was freaking out. Everyone else was freaking out because they weren't prepared. Haha, red pilled? Yeah, she's becoming. She doesn't know what it is either, but she's definitely, you know, the term red pilled. I recently watched the Matrix movies again, and people don't even understand what it means. The story. It's like red pilled. People think it means, at least according to the movie, it doesn't. It doesn't align with the way people use the word. Although you guys know what I mean when I say red pilled. It's not that you see the world for what it is Because in the movies, they were actually explaining people who took the red pill, people who understand what the Matrix is, realize like in the second, third movie is just a cycle of the one fighting against the Matrix, and then the whole cycle repeats, and then there's going to be a new one, and then it's the whole thing, and then hopefully by the end of the third movie, they were hoping maybe this cycle would be different, but it's all the Matrix. We're all in the Matrix, and that's the point. But she's becoming more aware, I think, and she might not realize it, but maybe she does. I don't know. But hi, she's watching. If she's still awake, yeah, she's watching. I just watched all the Matrix movies last year. It's so good. Yeah, the first one is the best, obviously. The second one, it's cool with the, yeah, but I think definitely the first one is the strongest of the three. But yeah, they're good. They're good. I don't know if we'll ever get movies like that where it's just like something new. That I don't know if there was a movie or it was based on a book or something like that. But typically these days, all we'll ever get to see are sequels because it's the safe way to make Hollywood movies, where you know it's like, all right, there's already a fan base for that. Like, what's the new movie now? Dune, I think it is. It's like I'm not watching it. I'm not. I don't. I like interesting movies that take a chance at something new. Yo, Kappa, what's good, bro? What's good? It's me, Batman. I'm Batman. Yeah, I know. I see you. How's everyone doing? You guys have anything you guys want to talk about? I mean, I wrote topics, but I like just riffing off of the stuff. We can talk about the wallets I sell and how that's going, Facebook ads, ROAS, and all that stuff. Because I'm realizing like business comes down to getting this equation right. The equation of like cost of goods and then customer acquisition and sell price, and then all the miscellaneous costs that come with it. And then you have to factor in taxes and fixed costs with like platform fees and stuff, which it makes it really hard to sell low priced products. You want to know why content creators and brands and startup brands and all that stuff sell their hoodies for like 60, 80, $100? Because it's the only way the finances work of it. It's the only way it works. Otherwise, the cost of the goods to make it, it's even if you get it made in China, it's still, you got to have it made and then ship it here. Even like with these wallets, less than half of the money that you pay for these things goes in my pocket. Less than half. Most of it goes to Facebook ads, it goes to fees, it goes to taxes. And then what's remaining is what I get. I get the cherry on top, but they get the sundae, they get the bananas, they get the sprinkles. I get the cherry. That's how business works, man. At least in these like low price products. That's how it goes. It sucks. That's why people say if you're going to get into business, sell high ticket items, because one, the profits on those the margins on those are way better if you can manage to sell a product, and the clientele's better. But fortunately, like I haven't had any feedback on these, so it's cool. I like that no one's actually left any feedback. Would you consider your business model like a personal brand? No, because I'm running it on Facebook without my image. So I like that it's beyond me. Even Table Moments, I recently just updated the name there. It's like Table Moments with Ayman, me. But I like that it can grow beyond me. Okay, so it'd be cool to bring people as part of this, and you guys can be a part of it. Or like, I don't know. It's just I don't like the idea of like it all being centered around me. Originally, this started off as a siblings podcast, so my siblings were a part of it too, and that's what I really enjoyed about it. Because I was thinking about this. Like one of the best things that came out of the podcast was because it was a siblings podcast. We would meet every week and we would talk. Yeah, I didn't have any clout. This didn't have any clout. There were no views. There was no audience, but we connected with each other in a way that we don't now. We know what's going on in each other's lives because we talked about it once a week on the podcast. And we just talk about and just enjoy each other's company. But don't do that anymore, which sucks. But whatever, life happens. I'm Batman. I'm glad to see your handsome face. Okay. I don't know why you guys go left on this stuff. Back off, he's mine. Back off, he's mine, bro. Wait, explain her version of Red Pill and why that's Hotep. I don't know if she has a version of red pill. I don't think she knows what that means. She's just questioning things that she's being exposed to in a way that a red pilled person or someone who's being red pilled does. Like we all have that moment where we start realizing the things that we've been exposed to, that we're surrounded by, is all BS. I had that moment. I think my moment was Obama. He was giving a State of the Union address where he was explaining, he's saying all the, like woke stuff, whatever. But then he gave the stat, we have to fix the gender gap, pay gap, because a woman makes 78 cents for every dollar a man makes. And it's funny because I had recently watched a video explaining where that stat actually comes from. Essentially, that stat comes from taking the aggregate pay of women and the aggregate pay of men, and then taking the ratio of that. When in reality, that's not an appropriate way to look at it, because men and women actually make different professional choices. They choose different careers, with different demands and different pay structures. And so when you actually accounted for the job that they do, and so you compare women in a certain field with the men of that same field, you realize the difference is actually 2 cents. And so the discrepancy is a rounding error, essentially. But yet, Obama, in his State of the Union address, is saying this publicly. And so I'm like, all right, one of two things have to be true. Either he doesn't know, Mr. President doesn't know, even though he has access to the top economists in the country. He can look this stuff up. He has access to all the information to know what is true and what isn't. And he's just stupid, or he's lying. And clearly he's not a stupid guy, so he's definitely lying. That was my red pill moment. I was like, all right, what else are they lying to us about? What does Ayman want? If I handed you $1 billion, money was no issue, what would you do? No filter. What do you desire most? I don't really desire anything like that. I would probably use the money to crash the housing market. That'd be really cool. Let's make housing affordable through oversupply. That would be really cool. I don't know if $1 billion is enough for that, though. You probably need at least 10 or maybe 50. I don't know. But it would be cool to just build super affordable, very efficient housing. Not affordable, just efficient housing. Give it to your wife. Yeah. She could do some really cool stuff with public health, like especially for the Black community. She knows a lot about that. So it would definitely improve the health outcomes of Black people in America. So maybe I'll give her like $1 million or $2 million. She seems like she could be efficient. We'll throw a car in there, maybe like a Buick or something, just as a sort of sweetener. But I don't know. I've thought about like just shaking up the system as it is. Like, why? That's why I think our billionaires are uninspired. Elon is the only one who's doing interesting stuff. All the other ones are boring. And honestly, they don't need to exist. So like the Bezos, Amazon's a cool company, not gonna lie. It is pretty cool that you can order something and it shows up at your door in 2 days. That's a cool thing, and AWS is also cool, creating all that. So, I mean, there's certain billionaires but then as far as like the social stuff, they're all uninspired and boring. Let me catch up with comments here on TikTok. Justin, why, dude, stop it. So you mean like Afrocentric movement on the rise, or let's see, is there more to that? I don't know. I'm not sure. No, it's not Afrocentric. It's just, it's more like she's just seeing the world, seeing the BS we're surrounded by. And here's a funny thing, or the interesting thing, she is an academic. And so like, as she works on her studies, she's realizing how fraudulent the people around her are. And it's cool to see. Now she's telling me like, can you believe this? Can you believe this? I'm like, okay. I mean, I know, but it's like, okay, she's coming to the conclusions herself. So it's cool. It's cool to see. It's like, yeah, that's my fiance for sure. Can we talk about how you used to sell clear wallets? I mean, yeah. What do you want to know? I think it'd be cool to add it back on the shop as an add-on item. Because one of the criticisms people gave me on TikTok shop here, which is where I was selling it originally, was I was selling it for $15 a piece. only because that's how the economics of e-commerce work. I got to pay for shipping, which is $4 because TikTok Shop requires a tracking number. Cost of materials, the material cost wasn't a significant part of that. It's like the actual making of it. It took a while because I didn't have like a laser cutter or anything like that. And so for it to make sense for me to do it, I had to sell it at 15. And people were like, no, this is worth $5. This is worth $7. It's like, well, I can hit that price point on the shop if it's an add-on product. So if you buy this regular wallet, maybe I could have a splash page that shows, hey, you can buy this clear wallet that you could sticker bomb if you'd like. I think it'd be great for artists who want to showcase like certain things or whatever. I think that would be really cool. Come on. What? No. I just got banned. No. Let's appeal that. That's crazy. In a shared set of facts, we do not allow inaccurate, misleading, or false content that may cause significant harm to individuals or society regarding of intent. Significant harm includes physical, psychological, or societal harm and property damage. Bro, that's crazy. I haven't had one of these in a while. Yeah, I'll probably get restored. It will take about 24 hours to review your appeal. Come on. All right, you guys have me to yourselves now. You get $1 billion and you're not giving her half? Do you want half? Would she want half? That's the problem. Would she want half? What is she gonna do with $500 million? What would she do with $500 million? Do you know how corrupting that kind of money is to people? Ever done Forex trading? No, I haven't. That's foreign exchange, right? The Matrix has attacked you? Yes, indeed it has. It has. So, it is what it is. It's just been a while since it's happened, which sucks, but whatever. I don't even know. What did I say that caused the banning? I don't even know. But it's like, what is she gonna do with $500 million? What could you do with $500 million? Health outcomes would be really cool. She seems. Was that TikTok? Yeah, that was TikTok for sure. You gotta be careful sometimes. I don't know, like sometimes it just catches things in the comments or you say something in, like I'm sure I'm gonna win the appeal, which happens, but whatever. That's a shame. That's a shame, but whatever. Appeal submitted. You'll receive a notification as soon as we have an update. So yeah, but at least in the meantime, it'll take a week if they don't appeal it. Crazy how you don't trust her with 500 mil, not trust her with your kids' lives. What do you mean trust her? Like, it's just money. Like, it has nothing to do with trust. Money's a corrupting influence, regardless. Even me, that's why I would probably have to give all of it away. Like, trust. Why are you making it a trust thing? Whatever she wants. Do you trust her heart and decision making? Yeah. Like, it's not the problem. Like, there are things that are corrupting. Money's one of them. Like, I literally had a discussion with her how, like, what did I call it? The deception of wealth, I think, is what it is. Oh, man, what was the word that was used in the Bible? There was another word. But essentially, like, how wealth can deceive you into a false sense of security. And why couldn't that happen to anybody? Like, even Jesus, when he was telling the story to the guy who asked him, how do I get into the kingdom of heaven? He says, get rid of everything you own and follow me. And it happened to be a wealthy guy. Literally talked to her today about this stuff. And then he replied, he explained further that it's harder for a wealthy person to make it into heaven. It's harder for a wealthy person to make it into heaven than it is for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle. Literally, it's a burden. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I literally had this conversation with her today. Today. That's crazy. It's so relevant. Thank you for the question, Creed. You've been really hitting with these comments, bro. TikTok has a sensitive personality for sure. I remember back in February of 2023, this is when the Andrew Tate stuff was like really blowing up. Any mention of him, even using a code name, got your video banned. And yeah, they're definitely very haughty for sure. Then give her 500 mil and trust God will lead her to spend it wisely. I just want her to have an easier path into heaven. That's all I want. She'll buy a Lexus for sure. Okay. I wonder which Lexus she'll get. Maybe she'll get multiple. Who is this Geordie person? Your wife made a fake account. She's trying to finesse you. Yeah, maybe. She's already going to heaven. Okay. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you're already saved. That's the whole point. You've already been saved. So yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. That's a good point. Got me there. Got me there. But yeah, whatever. This is cool. Thank you for the comments, though, Creed. I really appreciate it. You guys make it. Here's the funny thing. Like, I don't know. I remember a year ago when I was just live streaming to nobody, and you still got to do it. That's the way I saw it. But I appreciate you guys being here. Is there anything on your mind, Creed? I can't give any opinions on forex trading, but like we could talk about business some more. I think it's pretty interesting. I like the problem solving of it all. I don't really care for the money. Obviously, you have to make the money work. So that's the equation. To me, it's like an equation, like algebra, and you're solving it. And constantly, there's all these shifting things that you have to adapt to. That's the way I see it. And I think that's the only motivation I can get out of this business stuff, because money doesn't motivate me, which I know it's hard for people to understand. Like, I really don't care. Like, I don't care. It doesn't impress me that someone has a lot of money, and it doesn't make me feel any more or less secure that I have some or don't have some, I understand not having enough can be a problem, but, I have enough. Bro, remember Periscope? Yeah, I remember. I remember when all the conservatives were really taking off on the platform. I remember listening to a lot of people on Periscope. It was awesome, bro. It was live streaming before it became like all the Twitch and the TikTok and stuff. It was way better than TikTok. Way better. Not in terms of like, they always had like technical issues, but as far as the community you could build, because they're usually very like niche, man, the kind of conversations I remember just listening to like old replays of Periscopes or even just live streams of people for like hours, bro. It was awesome. Periscope was awesome. I miss it. But unfortunately, yeah, like the conservatives were taking over. I know a lot of conservative personalities that were really building a sizable audience there. And this was before the Twitter leaks came out and realized how infiltrated they were by the FBI and political organizations. And so people were like, oh, we got rid of Periscope because of blah, blah, blah. It's not a viable platform, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, it's because the wrong people were successful using it. And then, the Twitter leaks, the Twitter files came out, and we realized, oh, okay, Twitter had become a platform infiltrated by these political entities trying to influence us. And these people who were successful on Periscope were fighting against that essentially through authenticity and honesty. It was cool. It was amazing. Shout out to Ali Alexander. I'm developing an argument that posits the use of corporal punishment in black families as a covert perpetration of racial oppression. It's a lot of big words, but I hear what you're saying. Continue. Developing an argument that makes the case for corporal punishment in black families as a covert. Is it covert? I don't know. Like, that's an interesting perspective. And it would be interesting, like you're going into motivations with that kind of reasoning, right? Like, is it a relic of slavery? I don't know. What do you think, Creed? Any opinions on this? Like, that's a tough one for sure. I'm hoping, let's see. God, TikTok, I swear. It's implicit. What does that mean? Like, implicit. Okay. I don't know. The way I heard about Andrew Tate was when he started going viral. Everyone would call me Black Andrew Tate. I was like, "Who the heck is this guy?" I couldn't use TikTok. Yeah, that's funny. Like, I've been making content, I think, going on 3 years now. And before the Andrew Tate blow up and everything, and people were calling me like the Habesha Andrew Tate, essentially like the Eritrean Andrew Tate. At least all the people I grew up with, because of my takes, and I was like, "Nah, he gets him from me." He gets them from me. Here's the thing. I've had some thoughts about Andrew Tate. Um, Going to bed. Sorry to leave you hanging. No, it's late. I know it's late. It's my fault for being you're late. Good night, Jordy. Sleep well. No bad dreams, please. Um, yeah. It's funny because I've been thinking about Andrew Tate, or at least the thoughts about like how. Because here's the thing, I've been thinking about making a video explaining the path a lot of content creators take. It's a lot easier to sell people sin. It's easy to sell people vices, things that like degrade us. Essentially, like if you can feed people vices, if you look at the deadly sins, and if your content appeals to one of those, it's a lot easier to grow an audience because it's what human flesh is naturally drawn to. So think about the things that people typically resonate with, or at least the content they consume, is money, relationships, health. Relationships is more like sex. And so like the health stuff isn't really health. It's actually vanity because people don't consume health content, and the IG fitness people, to be healthier, they do it to look better. It's vain. The relationship stuff, like the Andrew Tate stuff, that's a lot about, it's focused around lust, about sexual access. And so it's feeding, especially the male desires. And then money is greed. That's what it's feeding. So you see people either flexing money through ostentatious material in their videos, so supercars, watches, whatever, but then they're selling you on how to make money. And it's just like, I like talking about business as a mathematical equation, but not necessarily as a way to show off. And so it's easy to get people, because those are the things people care about. And so if you decide to take it in a different direction, you are going to have a harder time. It is harder content to make for sure, if you're not going to focus on at least one of those three, or anything that feeds vices. I was even thinking about like food content. I think that's related to gluttony. I think it is, but I don't know. I haven't quite decided it yet. What do you listen to most? Wait, I think I missed the context of that question. It's definitely easy to sell sin for sure. Yeah, dude. And it's tempting too, because it's like, you're going to get views. You're going to get views if you tell dudes how to get girls, if you tell dudes, especially men, I think it's easier. For women, it's easier to deceive them by excusing their mistakes in life. And saying it's all okay, the Derek Jackson type energy. Especially sexuality, it gets views for sure, dude. We used to do street interviews. There was this one where we actually happened to run across an OF model, and my brother was interviewing her, and he was asking about body counts. Yo, that's so easy. It's such easy views. And here's the funny thing. She actually, and then, I don't know why I asked this, but I did. She's like, he asked her, does body count matter? That's an easy question to ask. And so he's like, body count doesn't matter. Body count doesn't matter. And she was with her friend. And then I asked, she said, my body count's hella high, but I'm still fine. I'm great, whatever. And so behind the camera, I ask, how much? And she says it, and it's in the triple digits, bro. And then I'm editing the video, and I'm like, yo, if I leave her saying how big that number is, it would get hella views, bro. I know, it's like, that's a viral moment for sure. But then I'm like, man, what am I gonna do to this girl? She's gonna be on social media, people are gonna spread it, people are gonna share it. Yeah, she's in the industry or whatever, but what are the social ramifications, long-term ramifications for her? And she was a little tipsy that night, not gonna lie. So instead, And then, here's the thing: I even consulted my brother with this. I'm like, bro, it looks so bad, and I'm not interested in like making people look bad, even if it, because a lot of these content creators are ruthless. They will exploit people for views, and I don't want to be that. Even if they willingly said something on camera, if I'm not trying to make anyone look bad, if they voluntarily gave me some free content, you know. So instead, what I did, I bleep out the number and I put like a rooster sound over it to make it funny. I know it hurt the virality of it, but I'm not going to compromise on making people look bad. I've been trying to find a way to make godly wisdom go viral. Yeah, it's harder. It's definitely harder. What podcasters do you listen to most? I mean, I listen to the All In Pod. It's a bunch of VC guys. Half of them are dumb, but I like hearing about what's going on in tech, at least from their perspective as people who are in the know. I recently just stumbled on, let me see if I can find it. I'm just going to pull up my podcast feed. Right now, Tetragrammaton. This is a podcast by Rick Rubin. I didn't realize how good it was. And I listened to this conversation with Rick Rubin and Rory Sutherland. Rory Sutherland is a marketer from the UK. And obviously Rick Rubin's the guy who works with all these musicians or whatever. Bro, their ideas on creativity and like where inspiration comes from and how to foster it and nurture it and the issues that creative people tend to, bro, it's like, look for that episode if you're into the creative space. But right now I'm listening to an episode with Adam Mosseri. So that's the IG CEO, Instagram CEO, who was invited onto this Rick Rubin podcast. It's called Let me just put it in the comments so you can look it up. Tetragrammaton with Rick Rubin. That's his podcast. Other podcasts. This one's always good. Free Domain Radio. With Stefan Molyneux. Great stuff. Like a lot of my hooks come from that. Like he'll say something like a bar. I'm just like, yo, that's so good. And then I'll go like write a whole script related to the insights I got from that one hook, that one liner that he drops. But it's like a more philosophical podcast where usually it's like human relationships and stuff. Real Coffee with Scott Adams is always good. Let's see, The Game, Alex Hormozy is interesting for business stuff. I think he's missing some things when it comes to like the spiritual stuff for sure. But as far as business, it's sound. Andrew Klavan show is also cool. Oh, these guys are actually on YouTube. You should check them out if you haven't. They need an editor for sure, but Hotep's Been Told You. I think it's on Hotep Jesus channel. It's on Hotep's Jesus' channel. Hotep's Been Told You is just a couple of guys who run through the news, but they have an urban take. It's cool. It's cool. You should check them out. Let's see. Dude, you think just like me, I probably wouldn't have posted either? Yeah. That's refreshing to hear. Yeah, I don't know. Like a lot of, man, here's the thing. It's so easy to exploit people for views, and I see it now because like that's what the man on the street kind of interviews are. They're just like a way to easy content because people are curious about the thoughts of other people, and you don't have to actually be creative. You're just relying on other people. In fact, sometimes they even fabricate the stuff, so it's not even authentic. But I feel some type of way about it because it is sort of like, I don't know if it's cheating. It's just lazy. It's lazy content. And yeah, I did it. But even then, like I took a different approach with the stuff. I wanted to ask questions that aren't related to like relationships only because that gets boring. And it's not something that interests me. So like one of the questions I just happened to ask one time was like something about social media. Like which platform you're using or whatever. And it was like a couple of girls and we were talking about like TikTok, virality, whatever. And I forget exactly, but essentially one girl went viral for putting makeup on a tortilla, essentially. But whatever, it's like, what's your longest snap streak is essentially the question of that video, because that's primarily the social platform that they use. It just crossed 1 million views on TikTok, but I posted it back in May of last year. And I'm just like, wow, people really care about stuff that doesn't matter at all. And so I'm thinking, like, what if I can make content that isn't, that obviously trying to find this overlap, this Venn diagram of things I like and things people like, and seeing where that overlap is. And I think I'm slowly finding it, at least with the stuff I've been posting on Instagram, or like the money, like the video I made about money. I actually had that $2 sheet, that sheet of $2 bills for like 2 months, and it's just been sitting here right next to me until that moment came, and I was just like, got it. It just clicked, and then I made it, and then I edited it, and then I was like, this is actually pretty good. This might actually do numbers. And I was confident about it, and then I posted it, and then it actually did numbers on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. And the reason why I say this is because this is the first time where I guessed, had a feeling that it would do well, and it actually did. Every other time I've thought a video was going to do well, it didn't. And every other time I didn't think much of it, it goes crazy viral. So whatever. Tetragrammaton, yeah, Rick Rubin. What's your goal with content? I don't know if I have a goal. It's constantly shifting is what I'm noticing. Originally it was, I don't even know what the original intent was. It was one of those things that came out of the pandemic. My siblings and I, that's how it started off, a siblings podcast. I still haven't changed the logo on YouTube, which is why you see 4 faces. I'm one of them, and then the other 3 are my siblings. And it's transformed. There was one episode where we actually, and this started off strictly as an audio only podcast. So that's why there are 134 episodes. Most of them are audio only. It hasn't been until the last 2 have been video podcasts as well. And there was one episode where we actually brought on a rapper, a friend of ours, Brizo. Shout out to Brizo. We brought him on, and after I edited that episode, I was just like, yo, maybe this could be a platform for people. Like, put all this effort, because I know how useful attention is. I didn't realize how useful it is. Like, it's a lot easier to slide into someone's DMs and ask them to be on the podcast when you already have a following. And I figured it could be useful one day. I don't know how, but it will. And so it's worth the effort of building an audience and doing it in a particular way where I'm being selective about the people I'm attracting. Because it is easy to grow, and it's not easy. It's still work, but it's far easier to grow an audience if you don't care how you grow. But I care about attracting the right people. So I chose the slower and harder path. I know that. Like, I've had this conversation with my brother. He's like, you could do reactions. And I'm like, yeah. And I know I would kill it too, because I literally have proof of it. But I'm just like, that's not original content. And that requires depending on other people putting content out there for me to react to. And then all you become is just like, I don't know. It's for some people. It's not for me, man. I actually want to be good at this stuff. And so that's what I care to do. And when we brought this rapper on, I was just like, yo, maybe this could be a way to like find people who need attention and putting them on, like that chemistry concept, activation energy, that sort of energy input required for them to take off because their stuff is already good. And so like Brizo, he actually dropped bars on the podcast, and it was amazing to see. Like one of the video episodes right now on YouTube, we invited Elijah Seabrook, also a rapper, Christian rapper. I don't know if he leans heavy into the faith in his music, but definitely of the faith. And we just talk about how he got 1 million Spotify streams without ever going viral. And that video is sitting at 1,200 views right now on YouTube, which doesn't sound like a lot, but considering the YouTube account only has 527 subscribers, I think it's pretty good. And it's cool to be able to give people platforms, or at least put them on. So yeah, maybe that's the goal of the content, at least in the near term. Yeah, after a while, you get the gut feeling of which ones will get views. Yeah. It's crazy how it opens doors. I interviewed a guy with 250,000 subs and an author. After that, I got addicted. It's fun asking people deep questions. It is. It is also fun having deep conversations. I've been thinking about like the whole podcast game. A lot of these podcasters, the mainstream ones with the biggest audiences, they're only big because they have access or have been paid for access to interesting people. The hosts themselves aren't that interesting. If you really go deep into it and you listen to them, it's just an interview. And I was thinking, like, what if podcasting could be different? Not only is the host interesting, the guest is interesting. Neither of them are like well-known staples, household names, but it's still an interesting conversation because they're sharing interesting stuff about what they're working on or ideas that they have. And so, like, I invited this guy from TikTok who I was like, yo, this guy has interesting ideas on creativity. And he's getting into finance as a creative himself who's made a living as a creative. He's now getting into finance with his dad to offer financial services to people who make their living primarily through creative work. And it is a niche for sure that I think is becoming more and more populated. And I'm part of that economy now too. And so it's just like, oh, okay, this guy was in it, and now he's offering the services that they need that I think a lot of creatives don't even consider incorporating, like the finances, learning how to save for retirement, how to make the deals and taxes, take care of all that, which artists don't really care for because they're just creating. And so I'm like, let me talk to this guy. And it was a really cool conversation, and we share like a lot on this stuff. You would like him too, I think, Creed. If you could interview one person of your choice, alive or dead, who would it be? Ooh. I think the easiest one would be Jesus. But I think it'd be interesting to interview Jesus with Judas. That'd be really interesting. And be like, bro, how you do that to him like that, bro? For 30 pieces of silver? Really? I think as far as alive, though, I mean, I guess Jesus isn't dead, technically, but as far as alive, I don't know. Elon would be, I don't know if I have anything to say to Elon. If I ever met Elon, I'd just be like, freedom of speech is freedom of reach. And that's it. That's the one line I would give him, and just keep it pushing. It's like this idea that being selective about people's reach is somehow still freedom of speech is BS. Nah. Who would you interview though? Who would you interview, dead or alive? Bro, talking about some drama, Judas and Jesus, that would go viral. That would go hella viral. Just like, bro, you know what would be even more interesting? I don't know how Pontius Pilate felt, because I think he was Roman, so I don't think he cared. I don't know, like the story. I think I read it in Luke or something, where I don't know. It's just I actually wrote a script. I wrote a script talking about how like let me see if I can find it. It'd be cool to share it with you, docs, or at least talk about it with you. But I wrote a script where I was thinking about making this video about how, even because I was reading the Bible and one thing stood out to me. So essentially my hook for this is the people who know you best won't believe in you. This is a universal truth. Even Jesus had to deal with this BS, and apparently he did. His hometown didn't believe believe he could be what he was. In Matthew 13, 56 through 58, where then did this man get all these things? And they took offense to him. But Jesus said to them, a prophet is not without honor except in his own town and in his own home. And so maybe this could give you like a moment of peace to realize that even Jesus had to deal with his own family and community not believing in him. So if you're facing that, just realize it's happened to everybody, even the Son of God. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Because it did used to bother me that like my friends and family and all that, they didn't understand what this could be. Even now that I realize, after doing this for a couple of years now, I'm realizing this is only the beginning. This is only the beginning. I'm not even close to how big this could be. But I've certainly exceeded their expectations of what this was. I remember talking to my dad about a podcast. He's like, what's a podcast? It's like, what's a table moment? What? Now I think he gets it, because now I make YouTube videos, and like older people are on YouTube now. So he's one of them. So that's cool. So he gets it now, I think. But I think he doesn't understand like how much bigger this could be. So it's interesting. So just doing the YouTube hustle now. But yeah, that's what I'm on. That's what I'm on. uh, God. And then doing this whole business thing has been interesting, and I don't know. It'd be cool to just put so much stuff out there that people can, I don't know, make things for themselves too. I don't know long term what this ends up being. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like doing this wallet and growing the customer base using Facebook ads is honestly giving me an option, an out from this. Because if I ever feel like this isn't the stuff for me anymore, I can just walk away from this stuff, and I have no problem doing that. I can make a living doing anything essentially. I've learned so much from this, learning so many useful skills out of this. Like I'm not worried. I even do software too. So like I'm actually working on a software product for this to help me add tracking numbers to orders, or at least tracking barcodes that USPS provides automatically through Shopify would be really cool, which isn't a service that any Shopify app offers right now. So I'm like, yo, what if I could build that, and then other people who sell stuff and sends them in envelopes that look like this? Yeah, this is cool. I came up with this idea today. Upgraded packaging, maybe with artwork too. This is the envelope that the wallets could come in with. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then you could put different pictures and stuff. So I was thinking like you can switch it up if you want. You know, that'd be cool. Or even maybe every week could be a different like figure in history or something. So this is Muhammad Ali. It'd be cool to see that on an envelope. And it would distinguish the envelope from all the other mail that you get. So that'd be really cool. Selling these wallets. And then because I sell these wallets and use this software to automatically put the USPS barcodes on there, which is free, by the way, but my software would be SaaS essentially, that other people who sell stuff through the mail and put a stamp on it could also use. Then I learn it by doing it, and then I can actually improve the software and then learn whatever. Dead King Solomon, or this guy, Dr. Miles Monroe, alive, maybe Joe Rogan or Donald Trump. Okay, yeah. Donald Trump would be interesting for sure. It would be awesome if Joe Rogan had the cojones to invite Donald Trump to his podcast. That'd be really cool. You'd be like, oh, okay. You know, but whatever. He hasn't done it yet. You know, he'll invite Bernie Sanders. He'll invite Tulsi Gabbard, you know, but the big one is Trump. If he invites Trump, then I can take him seriously. Until then, it's just like, nah, he's scared, bro. That sounds like a great business idea. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Well, just trying a bunch of stuff and then using these wallets, selling these wallets. You know, weirdly enough, like I actually came up with an ad idea today for this. So apparently there's this thing called fat wallet syndrome. Essentially having a wallet that's too thick and keeping it in your back pocket can like disrupt some like nerves in your spine or something like that. Basically make you sit weird and can cause this thing called sciatica, essentially a pain in your back or bum or something like that. Which I didn't think there was a medical reason for this, but who knows? Maybe there's a medical reason to have your wallet in your front pocket, or maybe thin enough that you don't feel it, which this is thin enough that you won't feel it. This has 6 cards. Right now, there's only like 4 bills or whatever, but it's still really thin. It's like, this is an experimental material that I'm using right now. And I put the corners on here. It's just testing. I don't like the size of these. I have another one back here that's even cooler, but the gold plating is fading, so I'm probably gonna have to make my own metal corners. But in the meantime, it's just like experimenting, making money with this, making money from social media too, weirdly enough, which I'm not reliant on. It's nice when it comes. So yeah, got a lot going on. It is what it is. Just testing in real time. And is this your first online store? Yep. If you've run one before, please criticize it. I'll put it in the chat. tmo.tv. I know eventually I'm gonna have to like spin it off as a separate brand, because right now like I'm running Facebook ads, and I can imagine someone seeing the ads and be like, what the hell, tmo.tv? And then I put there's a top banner that says explains what, because I'm calling it a Table Moments project, because that's what it is. It's a project for me. But eventually I might have to turn it into a separate brand. Either the Table Moments Collective, I was thinking, or even better, I actually have a domain name, RetroFitFit. I'll put it in the chat. It doesn't point anywhere right now. Fitfit.com. I have this domain name. I bought it a couple years ago, I think, when I started a company with some friends, and we were coming up with the names, and that was a name we didn't end up going with for the name of the company, but I like the name, and it has like cultural familiarity for me, the fit part. So it's like, ooh, retrofit your fit. It's like, ooh, maybe that could be something. So I bought it, and so I just been sitting on it parked. But I was thinking, like, maybe this could be a thing. I have these wallets, maybe like men's accessories, fashion accessories, and I was literally thinking, like, these wallets are cool. Right now they have the Table Moments logo on there, which is cool. But I was thinking, like, because I make them, what if I can brand them with other brands, like have brand deals with like a company or like a corporate, swag that they have for their own employees. It's basically wholesaling these things. And then I was thinking, what if I can collaborate with like fashion brands or like Yeezys, Kanye essentially, and just how he's going through that like $20 fashion whatever. It's like, what if we can come up with the design specifically for the Yeezy brand, and then have accessories for clothing? And so that'd be cool to do one day. I've never done one. If you're making sales, that's great. I know so many people who didn't even get to that point. You must be good with your ads. It took me a while to get good. The first ads I ran, I broke even on. Actually, I lost a little money because, as you know, like probably know, but for those of you watching the replay, like essentially when you run ads, what you're trying to do is spend some money to get a customer. It actually costs money to acquire a customer. Unlike social media, the reason why you see all these people on TikTok shop and Instagram shop and all that is because essentially the cost of getting a customer is zero, because the platforms are pushing your stuff to people because they're trying to grow their shopping platform. And so you can end up selling things a lot easier. But when you run ads, you have to figure out this ratio. You have to be able to spend money to acquire a customer, but not so much that you can actually make a profit on the product you're selling. So originally I was selling these wallets for $20 a piece. And it cost me, originally it was costing me like $20 to get a customer. So I spent $20 in Facebook ads to get one purchase, which they paid $20 for. So I made no money on that. And then if you factor in the cost of the wallet, the material, the effort I put in, essentially I lost money and effort on those. But I was experimenting with the ads to see what could work. And then I ran ads like for the last couple of weeks. I ran ads and testing different pictures. So I took a bunch of pictures of the different wallets of different orientations of the gray version. And essentially what Facebook does, it tests when you run your ads, especially when you put like different variations on the text, different variations on the description. And so it did a bunch of different combinations, and it figures out through testing which one performs well. And it figured out one to a point where it actually cost me $8.50 on average to get a customer. And I'm selling these for $20. And so essentially I'm making $12 or $11.50 on every sale. Obviously I have to factor in the cost of the material. So subtract that from the $11.50, subtract the platform fees, subtract tax. So I'm actually making like $6-7 on these in total. And then because it tested all these different creatives, it actually showed which one was the most performing. And so that ad set ended. And so now I'm starting a new one using the learnings from that one. And we'll see how that goes. I literally just started it yesterday, so we'll see what happens. But it found an angle. One of the pictures, it was the most basic picture. The tagline that seemed to work the best is forget the man bag, just make more room instead. So I'm using that one. So I'm using the best of the image, best of the text, best of the description, and then varying other things. Like the color of the wallet, now I'm testing, and it looks like the one with the highest click-through rate right now is the red wallet, weirdly enough. And so we'll see how that goes. I literally just started. Right now it's not looking good, but we'll see what happens. My theory is if I use the best of the learnings from the previous ad campaign or the ad set I had just used over the last 2 weeks, hopefully it'll make the cost of customer acquisition on average less than the $8.50 it was originally when I ran them for the last 2 weeks. And if that's true, and I also changed the price of this, so that might be a problem too. I actually increased the price to $25 because, like, yeah, $6-7 profit is nice, but it's not enough to be able to grow this and scale it well. So I think I need that extra $5. We'll see if I can get the sales on those, and if not, then I got to figure out something else. But it's all experimentation, Creed. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just experimenting. Yeah, that's where I'm at. And I'm learning and I'm sharing it online. Why do you sound like you've been doing this for so long? Appreciate it, but I just learn stuff and I share it. And one of the things I've noticed is that I can analyze and read so much, but like the trap of analysis paralysis, and I've gotten to a point, it's taken me years to get to this point where I can actually learn by doing. And this is a hard step for me. And sometimes I fall in this trap of just like research and research and research without actually taking the steps. So one of the life hacks I've learned, and I actually heard this might be the Naval podcast. Naval podcast. How to get rich. Let me write it down before I continue. How to get rich without getting lucky. See if you can find that podcast stream. Basically, it's one of the things I've consumed that's shaped the course of my life. But essentially, like, it's way, way faster to learn by doing. It just comes at a time cost, effort cost, and sometimes even money cost. I was actually lucky enough that my sales, that I broke even on those. I could have easily lost way more money on ads, but I got lucky. Like, I even temporarily changed the price to $30. This is when I first got into Facebook ads. I changed the price to $30 and I broke even at $30. And I was just like, all right, so price plays a huge role. Originally, like for the last 2 weeks, I had the price at $19.97. So I'm kind of worried that that's the price point of this, the highest. And it turns out I targeted men between 18 years old and like 85 or whatever. But it turns out most of the people who are making the purchases are like between 35 and 55. So I didn't expect that, but whatever. Totally understand where you're coming from. Learning by doing is the best. That is the best thing that's worked for me. Yeah. And it's hard to get into, especially when you're like, oh, I just need to know more. I need to know more. And man, I fall in that trap all the time. And then I get pissed at myself for not starting. And I've noticed my time to action is 6 months. I will be thinking about something for 6 months before I actually start it. And then 6 months, it takes 6 months for me to finally get pissed off at myself, to finally get started. But then once I get started, it's like a snowball, bro. And I just go. And so that's how even like writing these scripts for these videos started. I was thinking about writing scripts for the longest time. And then finally, I was like, you know what? Why am I waiting? Why am I waiting? I get mad at myself and I start writing. And then right now, let's see I don't know how many scripts I've written, but we're at, let me see how many pages. 65 pages of scripts, bro. Crazy. And so now, like, I've been thinking about making longer form YouTube videos, sort of like how I do the shorts, except like commentary. And I'm getting to that point where I'm kind of getting pissed at myself for not having started. Yeah, I do the podcast series. That's cool. But I actually want to do like the commentary stuff, sort of how I do for the shorts, except longer form YouTube videos. One idea I have is related to clout, how clout rules everything. And so the opening of this video is going to be like, what do new apartment buildings, Spotify, and social media have in common? And it'd be one word: clout. Clout rules the world. Essentially, it's social proof. This is an idea that's been whatever, and then get into the whole video and explain how it's everywhere. And our perceptions as people are largely influenced by social proof, and that's clout. And you can start seeing it in the podcasting world. You can see it in the social media world. People always check how many followers, and then you start realizing like most people have no taste. The fact that you're here watching me, having a conversation with me, shows you have taste. Because I think this is quality. I like to think like these conversations are interesting. They're just unfamiliar to people who are used to debates online or talking about the news or being focused on politics. You know, the basic stuff that you see. This is different. This is a conversation. It's even different from the streamers on Twitch who just focus on gaming and just like or having conversations with rappers. Because again, why do you think Aiden Ross and Kai Cenat and all them? Why do you think they invite rappers? Like because the rappers have clout. It's all just a game of clout we're surrounded by. And I was gonna like make a whole video series about it. I also have another video about Mr. Feast. I was gonna call a video about Mr. Beast. I had a dope line. What was it? Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. What is it? Mr. Feast was thumbnail would be Mr. Beast portrait as Ronald McDonald's, and then the title is Mr. Feast, the McDonaldification of YouTube. It does not surprise me that the guy's name is what's his name? Donald or whatever, I don't know. But the McDonaldification of YouTube. You know, people talk about Mr. Beast like, oh my God, he's such a great content creator, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, he makes dumb content. He makes fantastic and wild content. Nothing that elevates the mind. He's YouTube royalty, but he's basically McDonald's. Like, if you think about the restaurant world, if you defined the best restaurant as the one with the most customers, with the most restaurants, oh man, oh God, let it freeze. It's gonna freeze for a second. Call Dior Instagram Reels do specifically with more comedic ones? I'm not sure if I'm, you're on the road. Do Instagram Reels do specifically with more comedic ones? I'm not sure. I think what you're saying is like, would I do comedic Reels? Yeah, I have done comedic Reels, and definitely I kind of want to do more of those, but I just have to have the ideas. But as far as like my Mr. Beast one, like if you define the best restaurant in the world as the one with the most customers, with the most locations, with the most name recognition, that would make McDonald's the best restaurant in the world because they hit all those metrics. And so it's just like people don't even know how to judge what's good. Because here's the thing, no one would describe McDonald's as the best restaurant in the world. No one would, even though it hits all the metrics the same way Mr. Beast does. He has the most views, the largest audience, like gets the highest retention, the most familiarity, the most name recognition. But he's McDonald's. He's McDonald's. He's McDonald's of the content creation world. Yet people like pretend he's like this great, innovative, blah, blah. It's like, no, bro, no. And here's the thing. Content creators who are really about that creativity can see it. This is where the Casey Neistats come in. It's like he's actually doing something different. Mr. Beast is just McDonald's content. So it is what it is. And so that's why I was going to make a whole video calling it Mr. Feast, the McDonaldification of YouTube. Yeah. And it works for like a younger audience who aren't really interested in, I don't know. I think younger people are actually interested in more elevated content too. Cause I've had a couple of youngins DM me just like, yo, I love your stuff. And I'm working on AI, whatever. And it's been cool to DM with the guys. Shannon Beveridge, it's one watching and you're streaming for the last 2 hours. There's 3 people watching, but yeah, I mean, like, that's how it always is. Yo, pal, listen up. I don't know what, like, it's always been that way. As opposed to what? Like, hundreds of thousands of people. I'm here watching. He's interesting to listen to. Yeah. Here's the thing. I just got banned off of TikTok. That's where most of my audience usually is. It's usually like 10, 12 people on TikTok. I got banned. I don't know what I did, but he is interesting. Thanks. I think we're interesting because, like, Creed, you've asked so many interesting questions and So I like that we can have interesting conversations. And the cool thing is the replay. I hope this is worthy of a replay and it gets views. I know my dad watches these, so and he like really enjoys it too. I'm just like, yo, that's crazy. Especially the way I used to be where I was just like debauchery or not debauchery. I just was I think more flagrant is the way to describe it. But now, really connecting with God here and I have changed. I have changed. I'm listening to. Okay. Yeah. Tell me something about yourself. I don't know. I'm just a dude. I'm just one guy out here making content. Been recording for 2 hours, but I've realized like putting stuff out here has become a journey of self-discovery too. Like I thought about this. I literally thought about this today, where when people asked me when I was a kid, what did I want to be when I grew up? I told them I wanted to be an engineer because it made the most sense. It was the one profession that made sense for what I wanted to do, was to build and create and make things in the world, especially new things is even better. And engineer is what I ended up becoming. I've since left the profession because turns out working as an engineer isn't as interesting as learning to become an engineer. But in reality, the appropriate term for what I wanted to be and what I'm becoming now is inventor. That's actually what I'm becoming. And then like old memories of watching Disney Channel, and there was this like movie with this dad who invented toys and stuff, and I'm just like, that's actually what I wanted to be, was an inventor. But that's hard to communicate to people, especially immigrant parents who don't even know what an inventor is. They understand engineer though, even though, yeah, my dad, mom, they don't understand. I remember when I was working as an engineer, they didn't know what I did. They're just like, oh, he's an engineer. An engineer sounds cool. So it is what it is, but essentially inventor. Oh, you're a software engineer? Awesome. Awesome, bro. It's weird. Weirdly enough, I don't know, my content attracts software engineers, man. Like, you're not the only one, bro. Even I got into software too. I ended up teaching myself. I'm not competent enough to be able to be hired, but I am competent enough to build my own stuff for myself. So it'd be really cool. Here's the thing. I think it'd be really cool because you're not the only software engineer who's been attracted to my personality and the content, or maybe you just stumbled on this as part of YouTube, whatever. That could be it. But that's cool. Right now, I'm learning how to build a Shopify app. Yeah, I don't know. It uses Remix, which I'm not familiar with. I know Next. I don't know Remix, but yeah. What kind of software engineer are you? Front end, back end? Are there languages you prefer? The thing is, like, the things I want to build are so disparate from each other that I end up having to learn everything from scratch. So, like, the first thing, which is an ambitious first project, was building a social media posting app using the social media platform's APIs, using Firebase and Google Cloud Functions to take the content and post it to 6 different platforms. I actually got all of them to work, which was crazy, considering it was like my first project as like a self-taught software guy. And so using Postman to test the APIs, then using Firebase to host the media, using Cloud Functions to run the operations and send the API requests and all that. So I like web, but Jonathan Blow has some opinions about JavaScript though, but I like it. I didn't even bother learning TypeScript. I don't know how to write a unit test. Like, I just know how to build something together, put it together, and just like, yeah, my code's dirty. I don't care. I just want it to work. Dude, I literally just came home shitting in my office the whole day, and you were just in my feed, so I clicked on it. Oh, cool. Nice to have you here. I think the police drove next to me to see what I was watching. Yeah, be careful, bro. Like, you don't have to see my face, bro, to listen. And I like the idea that this conversation and even just me talking could be like a form of a podcast. Like, even the interviews that I do, that I publish on YouTube, I edit it like an audio podcast. So that's why there's a bunch of jump cuts you'll hear. But it's because I'm taking out all the redundancy out of our conversation. So literally, you could just listen to it. You could have it playing in the background while cooking, while coding, maybe. I don't know if you can listen to it while coding. I feel like that's an intense thing. But like while you're doing errands or whatever, or like, and I also rip the audio from that and put it on the podcast feed. So if you go, if you listen to podcasts, you should be able to just go to the podcast feed and listen to the audio only. It's the same thing. So, am I married? I'm engaged. I'm engaged to be married. I guess she's pretty awesome. She's pretty awesome. And I was thinking about it. Like the thing that sets her apart is that I say a bunch of stuff. I have bold plans, or I at this point I've let go of the plan stuff. It's in God's hands. Like what do they say? Like make a plan and then God laughs at plans or something like that. So I don't even bother with plans anymore. But I do believe in myself, and I do believe there is no problem that I can't figure my way out of, or at least there's nothing. There's nothing I believe I can't learn if I'm dedicated and persistent and care enough. And so that's really like even the social media. I wasn't a social media guy before this. And I know like I'm new to you, Shannon, but like, and the YouTube account is not that big, but on Instagram, 54,000 followers. On TikTok, it's 73, I think at this point, 1,000 followers. Like I'm not a social media guy, except I became one. Because I was trying to grow this podcast. And that's just how it goes. It's just like, I will figure this out. And I told my families, I told everyone around me, like, I will figure this out. I think it's useful to have an audience, even if it's beyond me. And yeah, so that's how I am. That's the type of energy. So if you want to know something about me, is I'm a persistent motherfucker. That's who I am. And, if you're here and you like this energy, you're probably one too. It's the only time I'll curse in this stream. Congratulations, man. Thank you. You guys live together? No. She's finishing up school near her family right now. And I guess I could move there, but I mean, I recently moved to Austin, and I guess I'm going through that like spiritual journey, whatever stuff. But no, we don't live together right now. It's a Christian lifestyle, so like not actually going to live together until we get married type of thing. Yeah, I know it doesn't make sense in the modern world because it's like, oh, it's stupid, you guys don't have to. So like, do it right at the beginning. I think might be useful for the long term. So that's where we're at. It sucks. It does suck, and I visit her, she visits me, but trying to do this in the proper way, as they say, or at least the way people used to do it. It sucks. I'm not going to lie. I don't like it, but it is mutual, at least at this point. Yeah. What's your name? My name is Ayman, Ayman. Let me put it in the chat. Ayman. It's actually a nickname, a family nickname. Everyone in my family calls me Ayman. It's not my government name. I don't really go by the only people, it's funny because like, I was going to a religious private school until 5th grade. And then 5th grade, I started attending a public school. And that's when I decided to go by my government name just to keep everything official. And so like academically and professionally, people call me by my government name. But ever since I was a kid, people always call me Ayman. So that's me. What do I do? Whatever I want. I work on whatever I want. Right now I'm getting into e-commerce, selling these like minimalist they could be a front pocket wallet, but essentially minimalist wallets. This is a prototype with metal corners, but I've been getting into e-commerce as a way to support the podcast. I think it would be interesting to be a content creator who can be independent from these platforms, because yeah, they do reward, they do offer earnings, and I do get that as part of making content for TikTok, but I don't trust these social platforms, man. Like they'll rug pull us in a heartbeat if it's in their financial interests. So I don't trust them. And so I think it's important that I make this sustainable outside of the social platforms and the audience. So that's what I've been doing. Experimenting with e-commerce, and I made these. This was inspired by a Kickstarter years ago, but I made it. But I don't have sewing skills, and I thought it'd be interesting to make these in a new and interesting way. So this is actually like a nylon fabric. The one I currently sell is like a ripstop version. And what I end up doing is actually, if you can see here, it's fused. I don't sew it, I fuse the edges because it's a thermoplastic. Nylon is a thermoplastic. And so I actually fuse the edges together, and that's how I get the seal. And because it's not folded and sewn, it's actually a thinner. So there's 6 cards in here, 4 bills, but you could always add a bunch of, I market it as 6 bills, 6 to 8 bills, and up about 10 to 12 bills, but I've seen guys put way more cards in there or way more money. So this is like way more money in there, and this is how thin it would be. And you'll forget it's in your pocket. And that's testimony from people who've used it. So it's been pretty cool. Whoa, I like it. Yeah. I mean, you could check it out on the website. If you're going to buy it, wait, let's see. I don't carry a purse and shit a lot. I literally carry my credit card at the back of my phone cover. Yeah. That's the thing. Like, I like that I have 6 cards, 12 bills, and I actually keep it in my front pocket a lot of the time, or I actually have a side pocket on my pants where I keep it, and instead of my back pocket. How can I buy it? You can buy it on HCPS Columbus. I wonder if I can give you the discount code. So anyone who, I put it on the Instagram. Let me see if I can give it to you. I think I can give it to you here. I'll give you that discount. I've been selling them for $19.97. I'll put the link in the description if you want to. And get shareable link. Copy link. Comes in 5 different colors, which is pretty cool. You can buy it here. So it's not going to show the discount until you take it to the cart. So I haven't quite figured out Shopify. I wonder if I can edit the code so it can actually show the discount before you put it in your cart, but it'll show you the discount in the cart. So I sell these for $25. I give you a $5 discount. The discount code is TM Crew in case it doesn't show up. Just put that in your, and then you'll get $5 off. I've been selling them for $19.97 essentially. And yeah, and then running Facebook ads. So I've been talking about that a lot. Been sharing all the stuff I've been learning from doing Facebook ads. And got to a point where it's actually profitable. I make about $6 to $7 from each one because of the customer acquisition costs and stuff. And right now, I literally, you might be one of the first to receive the experimental packaging. Originally, the packaging looked like this. And the cool thing I like about these thin wallets is that I can put it in an envelope with a forever stamp. Essentially, make shipping 68 cents. So obviously that works better for the margin. And I was putting in these envelopes here, these black envelopes with the gold trim. Very nice, very premium, but it has a problem with bending because the paper's kind of thick. And I actually had to change the packaging a little bit because it was delaying the shipping of this. Because I looked into the automated system and stuff. Oh, you gotta go? All right, yeah. I'll see you later, bro. But you might get one of these. I don't know if I'll use Boostly, but it'd be cool. Cool packaging. Thanks, man. If you do make a purchase, I'll see it. I'll ship it out tomorrow if you do order it. No pressure, though. And then let me know if you have any feedback on this stuff. Yeah, banned on TikTok. And I started late, so I'm not going to lie. It's my fault, really. I think I might just end it, though. Let's see if I got let me see if my appeal has been resolved. Monetization. Submitted appeal. Under review. You know, they used to be able to review it a lot faster. I remember when I did get banned. Whatever. Misinformation violation. That's crazy, bro. Nothing but honest here. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'll just call it. 2 hours is good. Maybe I'll go stream more often now. But I appreciate everyone who's been here. Thank you for watching. God bless, Big Dog. Same to you, bro. Same to you. And have a good week. Yeah, I should come up with like a closing statement, but I don't have one yet. And so we'll see. And if you want updates on like the wallets or anything that I'm figuring out in real time, I share it on IG stories. So give a follow there if you want to see it. And sometimes I post old content too, just because I get a notification on TikTok. Someone liked a really old video, and I'll share it there. But everyone, have a good week, and look forward to an upcoming episode with Taylor Ayers. He's the guy I invited to have a conversation last week, and I think it's a pretty cool conversation. The guy has good energy. So look forward to that. Otherwise, deuces. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Nice having you here. And thank you for all of you who watched the replay. I see the numbers. I don't know why you guys watch it. Or maybe it is interesting, and maybe I should just spin it off as like a separate podcast feed. Maybe that could be useful. But yeah, thank you for coming on, Creed. Appreciate it. Shannon, shout out to you. And Jordy, thank you for being here. Bye. Bye, 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 bye.